Last week, Royal Caribbean gave us our first look at the brand new Icon of the Seas. And I'm gonna be honest, it looks kinda terrifying. I say this knowing that Royal Caribbean has tons of fans and that they're constantly pushing the envelope with their ship design. And for that, I applaud them. But one of the things that Icon of the Seas represents to me is the constant push towards maximalism in the cruise ship industry. Current largest ship in the world is Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. The Icon of the Seas is actually about 6% larger, meaning that when it debuts in 2024, it will be the largest cruise ship in the world. Now, if you look at what some other cruise lines are doing, say Norwegian, with their new class of ships like the Prima and the Viva, they've decided to go smaller, reducing the passenger ratio and keeping things, while still quite large, more mid-size. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Royal Caribbean has continuously plussed up their ship designs, and it looks like they're not stopping with the Icon. Icon of the Seas is home to 7,600 passengers plus crew, meaning if you add everyone together, that's 10,000 people out on the ocean at one time. Granted, there's a lot of places for them to be, and that's evident in Icon of the Seas design. Spread over 20 decks, there's 8 distinct neighborhoods within the Icon of Seas for passengers to explore. Now, I'm not going to go into every neighborhood in super excruciating detail. If you want some of those videos, just go and YouTube them on another channel. But one of the things I want to talk about is how Icon of the Seas, at least for Royal Caribbean, really makes it clear what their plan is for the future and exactly what demographic they're trying to target. And I'll give you a hint, it's not me. Spread over 250,000 gross tons, that's a very large ship, are the 8 neighborhoods I mentioned. Taking a look at each of the new neighborhoods, we can really see Royal Caribbean start to exactly target the demographic that I think they're going for. In this case, young, active families, much more aggressively than they have in the past. And really, that's my overall feeling about Icon of the Seas. It seems like a ship designed by marketers for young families. Something like Aquadome is a lot more of what I was expecting from Icon of the Seas. This is a natural evolution of the Aqua Theater present on Oasis class, and so in this case, it's just like a market improvement in what they were previously offering. However, look at something like Thrill Island, an extension of the Thrill Island also present on Perfect Day at Coco Cay. Thrill Island is a 6 water-slided monstrosity that sticks out on the top of the vessel and features 6 different water slides of all different ride types. If you're a young kid or you have young children, this looks like a no-brainer blast activity. For me personally, when I go on a cruise ship, I ride the water slides once or twice, and then I feel like I've kind of done it, especially if there are long lines. And it's not something that I see myself doing again and again and again, not only within the same sailing, but on future sailings. The same can be said for the Crown's Edge rope course, something that looks really great in promotional material, but not exactly something that I could see myself doing again and again. Chill Island, although clearly geared more towards adults with the largest swimming pool at sea and the first swim-up bar at sea, and you'll see that theme repeated. Lots of first at seas on this ship. It doesn't exactly look like relaxing pool time. Not that it's trying to be that, but certainly, again, from a marketer's perspective, you can get a lot more flash showing flashy things than showing relaxing things. Moving into Surfside, this is probably the most evident location where young families are being targeted, because this is an amalgamation of all the different kids clubs and the carousel from the boardwalk on the Oasis class vessels, and all different kinds of things that allow parents to travel with their children or younger children to one specific part of the ship, let them kind of have roam, and then hunker down and watch over them. And to me, this is as clear a flag wave towards that group of folks to say, this is the cruise line for you, this is the cruise line for you, than anything else I've seen. And it makes sense because Royal Caribbean is carving out a niche for themselves in the young family market share. However, one of the things that scares me about Icon of the Seas is this maximalist approach, ostracizing adults who do want a relaxing vacation. On a lot of ships with heavy attractions, let's look at Carnival Mardi Gras, for example, there are plenty of carved out areas for adults that are meant to stay serene and quiet. Now, those areas are present on the Icon of the Seas, and future areas might be announced. But even in the promotional material, you can see neighborhoods like Hideaway looking not only quite packed, but also surrounded by all this activity. Or at Cloud 17, the same deal. Not looking that serene and surrounded by lots of activity. So while undoubtedly there are a lot of improvements and really cool things about the Icon of the Seas that have been announced and will be announced in the future, I'm sure, it scares me. And the reason it scares me is because I think Royal Caribbean is doubling down on their strategy for brand loyalty in the future. And that's to get kids and young families while they're young and keep them. This makes sense as cruise demographics have often been considered to be an older crowd, and as older crowds get older, they stop spending as much for obvious reasons. But for people who enjoy Royal Caribbean for the flexibility of family fun plus adult fun, I feel like the Icon of the Seas is a move against that grain. So you might be asking yourself, well, if I'm a Royal Caribbean fan and the Icon of the Seas is too much young family fun for me, where do I go? The answer to me is clear: Celebrity Cruises. And this is where I think Royal Caribbean's strategy will pay off. As Icon of the Seas moves towards young families, the Edge class of ships on Celebrity are locking down that modern Miami Beach resort aesthetic that especially appeals to adults in their 20s, 30s, 40s, etc. I really think that this is the future of Royal Caribbean. I think Royal Caribbean will be doubling down on families, and Celebrity will be trying to pick up the people who are lost in the exchange of these two things. And to me, that's what Icon of the Seas represents. Icon of the Seas is already breaking records as far as future cruise sales go, so we'll have to see how this trend continues in the future. Let me know down in the comments if you're sailing on Icon of the Seas and what you think the future of Royal Caribbean might be as these ships come out. I've been Adam with Cruise Ship Blitz, and I'll see you in the next video.